Okay, thought you'd like that. That was a good intro, right? My new math intro. I'm having too much fun with these videos. I know you guys think I'm probably bananas, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to be using my laptop at the same time here just so I can teach this math lesson and just have some notes while I'm working with you guys. So if I'm looking over a different way, that's because I'm looking at a PowerPoint just to go over what we are going to do today. So yesterday, let's just review really quickly. Yesterday we started off with decomposing numbers. So we're using the place value strategy. When we are using this strategy, the first thing that we do is we decompose numbers. So just like what we did yesterday, you guys showed me some really great examples of how you broke apart numbers into tens and ones. So we are going to move a step further today, and we are going to start adding those together. So I wanted to put this down and just show you. So here's an example. So Tia, my friend Tia, she is trying to solve the problem 12 plus 23. I'm going to write down how she solved it, and then I want you to press pause, and I want you to think about what she did here. Remembering what we talked about yesterday with decomposing numbers, I want you to pause and think about what she did. So here's the problem. So this is the problem, 12 plus 23. Here is how she solved it. So she first started off and she did 10 plus 20 equals 30. Okay? Then she did 2 plus 3 equals 5. After that, she added 30 plus 5, and she got 35, which means that 12 plus 23 equals 35. Okay? So I want you just to take a look at this, press pause. If your mom or dad are sitting there with you, going over this video with you, I want you to explain to them. See if you can explain to them how she did this. Okay? So I'm gonna have you press pause. So press pause right now. Okay. So I'm going to assume now you've pressed pause, you've talked about this problem for a few minutes, and now you're back to kind of discuss with me how she did it. Okay? So the one thing that we need to remember when we are adding numbers together using the place value strategy, the number one thing that we are going to do, just like when we use the make 10 strategy, is we have to decompose. We have to break apart our numbers by place value. So if I have 12 and I have 23, I can decompose these numbers by place value. You guys did this yesterday, so you should be able to do this with both numbers. So remember, if I have 12, I'm going to make my little tree diagram here. I know when I look at the number 12, the digit here, this number here represents the number 10 because the 1 in 12 is 10. And then we know that this digit here, the value of this digit is 2. So we can decompose 12 into one set of 10 and 2 ones. Okay? 23, we can do the same thing. So I can decompose 23. I know that the value of the 2 in 23 is 2 tens, which is 20. And the value of the 3 in 23 is 3 ones, which is just 3. So what I've done is I've taken my numbers and I've decomposed them, okay? Now I can show you this. I'm going to represent this visually as well by showing you a bar model, and I'm just going to kind of work you through this. If this is confusing, we will go through some more examples, and then again, if you need to pause, rewind, go back, do so. I'm going to try to explain this the easiest way possible, okay? So once I've decomposed my numbers, I have 12, which is one set of 10 and 2 ones. If I was going to represent that in a bar model, it would look something like this. Now remember, you can do a horizontal bar model or you can do a vertical bar model if you run out of space. I will leave that up to you. So here is 10. I did it wrong. Guys, you have to tell me when I'm doing this wrong. Okay, so there's 10. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. And then, so there's one set of 10 and 2 units of 1. So there's my 12. Okay. So I'm going to put from here to here is 12. But then I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw you for a little loop here. I'm just going to iterate the 23 right next to the 12. So there's 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. And I'm just going to go from here to here. It's 23. Now, visually looking at this, boys and girls, looking at this bar model. So here's your set of 10 and your 2 1s. Here's your 2 10s and your 3 1s. Can you look at this bar model and think of an easier way that I could represent this? Now, kind of thinking back to the original way that Tia solved the problem, what can I do here to make this problem easier? So now you're going to do this again. You're going to pause, and I want you to discuss. So 1, 2, 3, pause, discuss. And you're back. Okay, so if you pause this for a second, you might have seen that you can do something here to make this problem a lot easier. And if we remember back to Tia's original problem, how she solved it, this is what she did. And I want to see, or I want you to, if you were able to think about this, give yourself a huge pat on the back. So Tia, when she solved this problem, this is what she did. She started off and she did 10 plus 20. Holy moly. Where'd she get the 10? Where'd she get the 20? All she did, boys and girls, was she took the 10s and she combined the 10s. She took the 10 from 12 and she took the 20 from 23. She combined them together and got 10 plus 20. And what does that equal? 30. Now, I could still represent that with my bar model. Instead of doing 1 10 and 2 1s and 2 10s and 3 1s, now I can combine them. I can say, okay, this is easier. Here's 10. There's my 10 from the 12. 20. 30. Holy moly, look at that. All I have to do is combine the 10s. So wait a second. If I've combined my 10s, what do I do next? I have to take what's left over. And what's left over, boys and girls, since we've used the 10s, I have these 1s. I have the 2 from 12, and I have the 3 from 23. And all I have to do is add those two numbers together now. So now I'm going to combine my 1s. So my next part is 2 plus 3 equals 5. So I'm going to add those onto my bar model. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what does that give me a total of, boys and girls? So there's my 10s and my 1s. So I've added my, again, so here's my 10 plus my 20, and that gave me 30. So I combined my 10s. Then I combined my 1s. 2 plus 3 is going to give me 5. Now what do I need to add together? Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to combine my 10s and my 1s. So I'm going to combine this answer, the 30, and I'm going to combine, and I'm going to add it to my 1s. So now my new problem becomes 30 plus 5 equals 35. So that means what? Remember when we always do these problems, we always circle back to the original problem, and that is our that means phrase. So that means that 12 plus 23 equals 35. And that shows us right here on the bar model. Our 10s and our 1s is going to give us a total of 35. So the bar model is just there to show you how we can combine those 10s and those 1s, how we can take those 10s, take the 1s, put them together, add them together, and then just add the 10s and 1s. And boys and girls, that is our place value strategy. You decompose your numbers, add the 10s, add the 1s, add the 10s and the 1s, and you got your answer. Now, honestly, when I first learned this, it took me just a second to really, it took me a minute. I was like, what? That's how you can add? And you know what? Ever since I've learned this myself, this is how I add numbers all the time. I'm always combining tens. I'm always combining ones. And when you get into second grade, you'll add some higher numbers in there. But if you know the strategy, if this is a strategy that you're comfortable using, most definitely use this strategy. Okay, so I don't want to waste more of your time, so let's do one more example, and then I'll let you just kind of digest. We're going to spend the next couple lessons just going over some examples. So this will be kind of the lesson, and then tomorrow I'll do another one and we'll just do examples. And then I need your feedback. If you have questions, again, you can ask me questions. You can put a video on Class Dojo and say, Mrs. Colson, I'm confused about this. And then I can come back and answer your questions. But if this is something you're like, hey, you know what? This doesn't seem too bad. I think I can do that. Then I want you to let me know if you understand. And you guys did a great job decomposing the numbers by place value. So if you can decompose numbers by place value, you should be able to do this, okay? So we're going to do one more example because I don't want to take up more time. So the next example, again, we're going to do 21 plus 13. And you can do this on your own. If you want to stop and pause the video and do this on your own, you're more than welcome to. I'll work through this together with you, and then if you would like to, and then I'll give you just another practice problem, just probably one to work on after this one. So if you want to write this one down with me, you most definitely can. If you're like, got it, work ahead, totally work ahead of me, but I'm going to work this through with you right now, okay? So the first thing we're going to do when we look at a problem like this, because we're using the place value strategy this time, is we are going to decompose the numbers. Decompose them by place value. Don't forget that, place value. So I'm going to look at my 21 and I'm going to say, okay, I can decompose the 21 by place value. I know that 21 has two tens. Two tens and 21, and the number 21 equals 20. And then he has 1 1. So I've just decomposed 21 into two tens, which is 20, and 1 1. I can also decompose the 13. 13 has 1 10, so the value of the 1 in 13 is one set of 10, which is just 10. The value of the 3 in 13 is 3 ones. So all you're going to do is have your 1, 10, and 3 ones. Now, I'm a visual person, so I like to represent this with my bar models. Yes, I do want to see your bar models. You're going to be like, why? But I do want to see them. So, if I'm going to put this into a bar model, I'm just going to put it like I see it, okay? So, I have 20, 10, can you guys see that? There it is. 10, 20, there's my two tens, and my 1 1, and I'm just going to iterate 13 right next to it. 1 10 and 3 ones. So this shows me right here, this number right here is my 21, and from here to here is my 13. Now right away, boys and girls, you can look at this and say, oh, I know what to do. Look at that. She's taken it and she's showing me, here are my tens. There's two tens here. There's 1 10 here. I can put those together. I can easily put those together. So I'm going to take my tens and I'm going to add them together. So remember, back up at the top when we decomposed. My first equation or number sentence is going to be the combining of my tens. So the 20 from 21 plus the 10 from 13, and that's going to give me a total of what? Yes, I can hear everyone saying it's 30. And then I'm going to represent that again. I'm going to change this bar model and I'm going to represent it like how I'm doing it now. So now I'm going to combine. So now I've combined my 3 tens. There's 10. Can you see that? Yeah. 20, 30. There's my 30. But I'm not finished yet because once you've combined your tens, you have to now go back and combine your ones. There's still 1 1 here in 21, and there's still 3 ones here. So I guess I'm just going to have to add them together. That's what we're doing, right? So I'm going to do my 1 plus 4. And boys and girls, everyone knows that 1 plus 4 is going to be 5. So I'm going to add those on to my 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. No, it's 1 plus 3. Guys, you have to correct me. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That was 1 plus 3. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Teachers make mistakes sometimes too, right guys? So 1 plus 3 is 4. I'm sorry, you guys. But we're not finished yet, because once we've added the 10s together and we've added the 1s, now we have to combine the 10s and the 1s. So we have one more number sentence that we have to write, and that, well, actually 2, because we're going to circle back again. Sorry guys. We have 2 more number sentences we have to write. The first one is going to be the combination of our 10s and our 1s. So our next number sentence is just like you see it. We're going to add the 10s and we're going to add the 1s together. So our new number sentence is 30 plus 4 equals 34. Am I done? Not yet, because we still have to circle back. So remember that phrase, that means, so I know that 20 plus 10 equals 30. I also know that 1 plus 3 equals 4. If I combine them, I know that 30 plus 4 equals 34. And that means that 21 plus 13 equals 34. Now, a lot of you I know can probably look at this and just look at the problem and be able to combine the 10s and the 1s. You could even probably just decompose the numbers and just from this be able to figure out your answer. But I'm going to ask you to do this. Okay, so I know that it's going to be, some of you are like, I don't like it when she makes me do that. But when I ask and I check when I want to check for understanding, this shows me these parts, doing the bar models, doing all of the number sentences, shows me that you do understand what we're doing. So for the time being, please show me your work. So when you do your examples, show me your work so I can see what you're doing. So I want it to look just like this. So if you need to pause for a second, this is what it will look like. Okay, so you're gonna do, let's do 2 practice problems. So let's do 2 practice problems. The 2 problems that I want you to work on and make it look just like this, you're gonna do 2. I'm gonna put them up in the corner. I want you to do 24 plus 12, and I want you to do 35. I was looking at my examples. 35 plus 11. Okay? So you're going to do these 2 problems, 24 plus 12 and 35 plus 11, and I want you to do it just like I showed you here. You're going to decompose your numbers. You're going to show me, you're going to represent that the way you decomposed in bar model form. Then you are going to do all your number sentences. Remember the first step, we're going to combine the 10s, and then you're going to show me how you combine the 10s in your bar model. You'll combine the 1s, add those 1s to the 10s that you just combined, add the 10s and the 1s, and then that means at the end. So I can actually show you down here too. The very last thing is just putting those numbers together at that bar model, which just shows that the total is 34. Okay, give it a shot, give it a try. I think you guys will be able to do a great job with this. This is something that we're not going to move on from right away. We're going to keep practicing and keep working. Please make sure if you have questions, ask those questions so I can, the next time we get together, I can answer questions. I can talk to you about this if you're working on it. And again, this is what we would be doing in class. So parents, again, if it's too much, we'll go over it. If not, I mean, if you think you can, I can't talk. If you think that you can handle it just fine, then please, by all means, have fun with it. Okay? So kids, I know this is a long video, but I'll talk to you soon. We'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.